What's going on, everybody? I'm here to discuss a topic that's been going on probably for about the last 10, 15 years, and it really didn't start until after Michael Jordan had retired. Because when Michael Jordan played, the people who he played against, most of them agreed that Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. Well, I said Magic Johnson said Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. Larry Bird said that Michael Jordan was God disguised as Michael Jordan. Allen Iverson said Michael Jordan was Black Jesus. So most of the people that Michael Jordan played against during his era, they all called him the greatest of all time. Or the people who grew up watching Michael Jordan. The only people who really didn't call him the greatest was the people who played before him, like Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, people like that. Most of those guys who played during that era, they would say Kareem was the greatest, or Wilt was the greatest, or Oscar Robertson, or Jerry West, or Dr. J, people like that. A lot of them don't call Michael Jordan the greatest of all time. That really didn't start until when Jordan got in the league in the mid '80s, and when they saw what he can do is when people was like, "Dang, I've never seen anyone do anything like this. The way he flies, the acrobatics, how long he stays in the air, the difficulty, and all the shots he took." But even Michael Jordan said it himself. Like, he can't call one person the greatest of all time because people played in different eras, they played different positions, so how can you judge that? Even he said because he grew up watching Dr. J and Elgin Baylor, he wouldn't have been the player he was if he didn't watch those guys. So he said he can't call himself the greatest because a lot of those guys influenced his game. Let's be totally honest here. Bill Russell won 11 championships in 13 years. How many people actually call Bill Russell a top 10 greatest center of all time? How many times have you ever heard someone say, man, Bill Russell was the greatest of all time? And that's the one thing I don't like about the LeBron Jordan debate. People, like, if you go on Facebook and every time it's a LeBron highlighted somebody will comment something about Jordan, and they always copy and paste the same thing. Oh, 6 championships, defensive player of the year, 6-0 in the finals, blah 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 blah, all that. But let's be honest here. How many championships did Michael Jordan win without Scottie Pippen? How many championships did Michael Jordan win without Phil Jackson? You can't base Jordan's greatness off the championships, because what about those other 7 years he didn't win? If you want to talk about his greatness during those 7 years, because he still put up numbers. He didn't win championships, but he put up numbers. And that's what you have to do. You have to go by what that player did as an individual and stop looking at, oh, that's why to me, I can't call Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time, even though he has the most Super Bowls with 5. But he played, 17, 18 years with one coach. How many does he have with Bill Belichick? He has 5 rings, went to the Super Bowl 8 times with the same, like, stability matters. When you have the same coach for 18 years, as opposed to somebody like me, I would pick Peyton Manning over Tom Brady because Peyton Manning went to 4 Super Bowls with 2 different teams and 4 different head coaches. That's 4 different systems you have to learn. Tom Brady has been with the same coach for 17, 18 years. Stability matters. Now I'm gonna go through this discussion. I'm gonna start off with the LeBron Jordan debate. Why I don't think that's really a debate for you to say LeBron is the greatest of all time as opposed to Michael Jordan. And before the video is over with, I'm gonna tell you who I think the greatest player of all time is. Even though I told you I feel like that's too broad of a statement. And then I'm also gonna list several other players who make a case, who people like to argue or can argue are the greatest of all time. So throughout this video, those are the cases and discussions I'm going to have in this video. First off, let's get something straight. When you're trying to compare who's the greatest of all time or anything like that, first off, you really can't do that. That's too much of a broad statement. Like if you wanted to minimize it to, oh, who's the greatest shooting guard of all time, or who's the greatest center of all time, who's the greatest rapper of all time, it's too broad. If you wanted to go like who's the greatest lyricist of all time or who's the greatest influential rapper and stuff like that, that's how you would be able to really do these greatest of all time debates. But first and foremost, when you're making these debates, having these discussions and stuff, the one thing you have to do is take championships out of the equations. Because championships are team accolades that has nothing to do with the individual, how great that individual is. Those are team accolades. When discussing Jordan and LeBron, people always bring up the same things. Well, LeBron doesn't have the killer instinct, the competitive drive that Jordan had. And then they'll say, well, LeBron is a more complete player than Jordan. LeBron is a better rebounder. He's a better passer. And then the people will be like, oh, well, Jordan was a greater defender than LeBron. And the thing is, about Jordan didn't have to do what LeBron did because Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, who did what LeBron does. Michael Jordan didn't have to be the facilitator. That was Scottie Pippen's job. But people forget Jordan had that role before Scottie Pippen got there in the mid 80s, before Scottie Pippen was drafted in 87 or whatever. Because, Jordan was drafted in 84 or whatever. Michael Jordan would play point guard. Michael Jordan had 10 triple doubles in 12 games, 7 triple doubles in a row. So that's what people need to realize. Like, Jordan didn't have to play that role because Scottie Pippen took that role. So for all those people who always say, well, Jordan's a better rebounder, LeBron's a better rebounder. Another thing, it's a reason why LeBron is a better rebounder than Jordan. Look who he's going against. Like, let's be honest here. There are no more real centers, traditional centers in the NBA anymore. And then, like, a lot of teams pad stats anyway for rebounds. Somebody like Russell Westbrook, the damn power forwards and centers move out the way and let Westbrook get all the rebounds. In LeBron's case, there are no centers. You got 6'8" people out. You got 6'8" dudes like Draymond Green playing center. Like, it's kind of easier for LeBron to score. Not just LeBron. Most of these people score. They shoot nothing but threes nowadays. But when they drive, it's not like they really meeting any resistance at the rim anymore. When Jordan drove to the goal, he meeting Dikembe Mutombo. He meeting Hakeem Olajuwon. He meeting Shaq. He meeting Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing, Rick Smits, Sean Bradley. Like, he meeting these guys, Manute Bol, Bill Laimbeer, Bill Cartwright. He got to meet these big, tall, physical centers. Because of the way the game is now, you got centers, everybody trying to shoot threes and fadeaways and stuff. That's one that put it like the tough, and that's one thing I never liked about LeBron. Cause everybody know LeBron is physically, his strength and all that, his physique is just ridiculous. But as strong as he is physically, LeBron has always been mentally weak. Like, all the times you see him flopping and stuff, like, big as you is, you know dang well nobody gonna believe you got hit that hard. Just put it like this. Can you imagine LeBron playing in 1987 in the Palace of Auburn Hills against Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer? can you imagine him having to go against that team and coming out with a win? Because you know Jordan, every time he drove to the goal, he knew they were going to knock him down. But he had to get back up. He wasn't crying for fouls and, oh, he hit me, he hitting too hard, they hitting too hard and all that. Now, I'm not saying, like, of course it's good the game is not like that anymore where people, like, trying to take each other's head off and stuff. But me personally, I feel hand checking should still be allowed. And it should be like kind of like it is in the NFL when they're able to jam the receivers. They're able to jam the receivers like the first 5 yards. I feel you should be able to hand check on the perimeter for 5 seconds or until once they go get past the 3-point line, you got to take your hands off or it will be a foul. But anywhere outside the 3-point line for at least 5 seconds, you should be able to hand check. Because it's too easy. Like, you have games where Golden State scored 92 points in the first half this year. Like, it's no more resistance. People can't play defense. Final scores are like 140-something to 120-something. Like, that's not basketball to me. And as far as, like, LeBron and Jordan, the other reason why I can't put LeBron over Jordan is because I feel LeBron made a weak move by basically running to Dwayne Wade for help to win a championship. Now, LeBron, like I say, I understand it's a team game, but Cleveland was the number 1 seed twice and didn't even make it to the finals one of those times. So you're telling me y'all work y'all ass off in a regular season just to lose to goofy ass Dwight Howard in 2009 when everybody was like, oh, it's going to be Kobe LeBron. They made those damn Muppet commercials, the damn puppet commercials with LeBron and Kobe. And what happened? You lost to Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu in 6 games and you had the number 1 seed. And this is why I can't, like, the East. Well, Jordan made it to the finals 8 straight years. Well, it's kind of easy when the East is trash. I'm put to you like this: when Jordan played in the 80s and the 90s compared to when LeBron played in the 2000s, LeBron's Eastern Conference versus Jordan's Eastern Conference. In Jordan's Eastern Conference, with teams not including Chicago, whichever team LeBron and Jordan played for, not including them, the number of 50-win teams during that season, there has never been over 3 50-win teams when LeBron played in the East. In Jordan's case, it was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, at least 6 50-win teams in the same season, not including the Bulls. And LeBron has never had more than 3. In Jordan's case, it was 4 or more 5 times. In one year, it was 5 teams. In 1997, there was 5 teams that won at least 50 games, and that's not including Chicago. LeBron's East, like, people get in the playoffs with 42 and 40. So it's kind of easier for LeBron because he ain't going up against Reggie Miller, and then he ain't going up against the Knicks and Shaq and Penny and all those people. Like, come on, he going up against the Raptors, Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. Me personally, that's why I can never say LeBron is a greater player than Jordan, because, like I said, he don't have that physical mentality like that to just plow over these dudes. Just like he said himself, if he knock you down, he not helping you up. Then you always got these people who try to take up for LeBron, talking about he's better than all around than Jordan, better rebounder, better passer. People like Nick Wright and Colin Cowherd and Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp, my dude, but he be doing too much with LeBron. And the thing about LeBron, like, that was a weak move. People don't realize what they did. You had 3 people from the same draft class all still in their 20s, in their prime, team up on the same team in less than 10 years. Imagine if in the 80s, Jordan, Bird, and Magic all teamed up. You know how many championships? And then what's worse, Miami only won 2 championships. If Magic, Jordan, and Bird had did that in the 80s,
people saying
they would at least won
Michael
like
Jordan
had Scottie Pippen. People need to realize, first off, because when they teamed up with Miami,
didn't even
they made the
start
other
until
Eastern
the
Conference
second
team weak.
half
Because
of
you
the
took
second season.
you took Chris Bosh from Toronto.
Without
You
Michael
took LeBron
Jordan,
from
Scottie
Cleveland, so
Pippen
Toronto and Cleveland
wouldn't
gone
become
now.
the player that
And
he
Miami
did,
is just a
not
powerhouse.
learning from Michael Jordan.
And
So
then
it's not like Scottie
when
Pippen
Dwayne
just
Wade
came
started
out
getting
the
old in
college,
Miami and Chris Bosh
out
was
of college,
getting injured,
oh man, I'm ready to
LeBron left
score
again
20
to go to
and get
Cleveland because
8
now
assists
Cleveland
and
got a
12
star in Kyrie
rebounds.
Irving.
That wasn't
And
the
then
case.
you brought Kevin
Scottie
Love
Pippen
to
had
Cleveland.
to learn from Jordan.
So it seems like he always got to have a super team around
and that's how they
him just to
became a
have to
dynasty.
win.
LeBron didn't
dude,
feel
you
like
the
doing
best
that in
player. How
Cleveland.
you
He
lead all
left,
these
went to
people around
Miami,
him?
and I know
Didn't
people
feel
like he felt like they did what they could in Miami, went back to Cleveland, went to 4 more finals, lost 3 of them. Even though I'm gonna have another video about the one in 2016 because that was some bullshit. But yeah, it's not like Scottie Pippen was just an all-star as soon as he got in the league. But that's all I got to say about the whole LeBron and Jordan discussion. Why I don't think LeBron can be classified as a greater player than Michael Jordan. Now I'm about to discuss some other players who people like to say are the greatest of all time. That being Wilt Chamberlain being one of those people, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. Some people say Tim Duncan. I wouldn't put Tim Duncan in that discussion. And a lot of people like, well, how you skip over Kobe Bryant to talk about LeBron James? Kobe would be a greater player to me than LeBron. That's what a lot of people would say. But you can't tell Nick Wright that, because Nick Wright will tell you who, Kobe Bryant, the same Kobe Bryant that quit on this team in 2007 or 2006 or whatever versus Phoenix in the playoffs. The thing was at halftime or something like that, third quarter, Phil Jackson told Kobe Bryant to get his team more involved. Kobe had did all he could. They had a 3-1 lead and lost it. So Kobe was like, hey, fuck it. Y'all do it. And they couldn't do it, so they lost 3-1 lead. They lost game 7. Kobe only took like 3 or 4 shots in the second half. So that's why Nick Wright is always saying Kobe Bryant quit on his team and blah, 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 blah. And trust me, I was one of those people growing up. I was like, man, fuck Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant only won because of Shaq. If he didn't have Shaq, he wouldn't won shit. He wouldn't have won shit. But now that I'm older, and if you going individually, like people are, well, Kobe Bryant is just a copy of Jordan. Which he is, but some of the skill set that Kobe has is better than the skill set that Jordan had. The footwork, Kobe's footwork is better than Jordan. His athleticism is better than Jordan. He can shoot better than Jordan. Long range, mid-range, Jordan probably got a better mid-range. Jordan had more hang time than Kobe. Jordan was probably a better defender than Kobe by a little bit because Kobe was a good defender too. Kobe had better dunks. He was more creative with his dunks. And the thing about Kobe is, and like I said, a lot of people, including myself, used to be like, well, if he didn't have Shaq, he wouldn't have won. And we can all acknowledge that playing in the Western Conference is way harder than playing in the Eastern Conference. But if you go look at the West from 2000 to 2004 or 99 to 2004 when Kobe and Shaq was on the same team, it was really only 1 year, that 2000 year when they won that first time. If we going just by Western Conference, which is the tougher conference, Western Conference playoff, Kobe Bryant was the one that actually led the Lakers in scoring 4 out of those 5 years. Shaq only led the Lakers scoring their first time in 2000 when they beat Indiana in the finals. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, Kobe Bryant led the Lakers in scoring in the Western Conference Finals.
Now they got to the final. Shaq got those MVPs because look at the centers he was going against. Mutombo, one of the greatest defensive centers of all time, but skinny as Mutombo was, he wasn't big enough to guard Shaq. Who was he going against? Todd McCullough in Philadelphia. New Jersey. And then who they played? Rick Smith, old Rick Smith in Indiana in 2000. What happened when Shaq ran up on Ben Wallace, though, in 2004? 2003, they lost to San Antonio with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So, like I say, me personally, I would, if I'm going greatest, if I had to make that decision, I would put Kobe Bryant over LeBron James because of the skill set. Like, Kobe Bryant was a fucking assassin. Kobe Bryant, like, you could double and triple team Kobe and he still go kill you. Like, when you can have 62 points in 3 quarters, like, hey, you that motherfucking dude, man. Like, when you can have to put up those type of numbers, you score 81 points. Like, Kobe Bryant's a fucking killer. I'm going to put it like this. Now, if LeBron James, the LeBron James, like these last 5 years, if that was LeBron his whole career, then I think you would have a debate. But because LeBron James didn't even really get a jump shot until his second year in Miami, when Dallas exposed him in the finals for not being able to shoot, when they went into a zone on Miami and forced LeBron to have to take jumpers and he missed them, he didn't even want to take those jumpers. It was a point in time when you can leave LeBron open 10 times and he'll hit 3 out of 10. Now, it's like he go hit 8 or 9 out of 10 if you leave LeBron open. And lastly, I'm going to make my case for the person, if I had to choose, who I would pick as the greatest player individually of all time, and that's Wilt Chamberlain. The thing I don't like is how people punish Wilt Chamberlain for being big and strong, but they praise LeBron James. You always hear people say, well, Wilt didn't play against anybody. He played against 6'5" white guys, and they were post office workers and milkmen and stuff. But when LeBron going against people who smaller than him, oh, LeBron is such this physical force. He's a train. You can't move. When he's on the tracks, you better get off. But Wilt, all he did was turn around and just finger roll it. First off, if you think that was Wilt Chamberlain, you wrong about that. Go on YouTube and type in Wilt Chamberlain fadeaway, and you'll see how great of a shooter Wilt actually was from the perimeter. Wilt Chamberlain, if Wilt Chamberlain had played into like the 90s and stuff, if he could have played, like, his skill set would have been a Hakeem Olajuwon type skill set, because no one could really jump with Wilt. And the crazy thing is, people like, well, Bill Russell used to get killed by Wilt Chamberlain. Bill Russell won the championships because he had a better team than Wilt Chamberlain. That's why I say you can't go by that, because championships are team accolades. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 23 points and 24 rebounds a game against Chamberlain through 49 games. In 49 games, Wilt Chamberlain was 20 and 29 versus Bill Russell. And most of those were game 7s in the playoffs. Because just wonder, if it would have been any other day, history could have been a lot different. Wilt Chamberlain could have ended up with 6 championships and Russell with like 5 rings. If not, because some of those games was like 3-point games, 2-point games, and game 7s. So it's not like Russell just killed Chamberlain. Chamberlain would always get his numbers versus Russell, but Bill Russell had a greater team. The Celtics were better than. And then you got to think about, Wilt Chamberlain was a center. They called him a ball hog. This man turned around as a center and led the league in assists as a 7'2" center. And you gonna tell me that's not the greatest player of all time, who could get 20, 20, and 20 if he wanted to? But to end it, I'm going to just say this. People need to stop with the GOAT debate with the G.O.A.T. and just say the G.O.H.T. Instead of greatest of all time. You should talk about the greatest of his time. In the 60s, even though Bill Russell did win those championships because he had a better team than everyone else, Wilt Chamberlain dominated the 60s. When you can average 50 points in a season with like 30 rebounds a game, You're the best player in that generation. In the 70s, it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coming with the skyhook. Wilt was just about to leave, and Kareem coming in. In the 80s, you can split that between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Me personally, I think Larry Bird was a better player than Magic Johnson because of the skill set. Larry Bird could shoot, he could assist, get rebounds. I gotta take away from Magic because he really wasn't that great of a shooter, even though his court vision, his passing, all that was above everybody. And in the 90s, everybody know that Michael Jordan is the 90s. There's nobody even close in the 90s to come to Jordan. In the 2000s, I didn't put Shaq on here, but a lot of people would put Shaq in the discussion with Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan. And for the 2010s, it's obviously LeBron James. You make it the 8 straight finals, even though you were playing in the weak East. Just think Steph Curry is on his way, though, because you got to think Curry made it to 4 straight finals in the Western Conference. Some people might put Kevin Durant in that discussion, but I feel Kevin Durant made a weaker move than even LeBron, so I got to penalize Durant for that. So please like and subscribe to get more content. I will have more videos in the future about basketball and football and music and movies and give my opinion about other topics. This is my first video, so I know I'm gonna have to work on my editing and stuff. So please, you don't even need to get in the comment section about how you did a horrible job at editing, because I know I gotta work on it. This is my first video, so you gotta crawl before you walk. So again, like and subscribe. This Black Sage, I'm out. Peace.